All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to explore the really profound and, sometimes pretty challenging ideas of the spiritual teacher Anthony De Mello. His whole message really boils down to one thing: waking up. But what in the world does that actually mean? Well, let's find out.
So, right off the bat, De Mello hits us with this powerful idea. He's suggesting that our normal, day-to-day life, the way most of us are living, is basically like sleepwalking. He says we're born asleep, we live asleep, and we die in our sleep, never really waking up to the incredible reality of just being human. It's a pretty radical thought, and it's really the heart of everything we're going to unpack today.
So, what is this sleep he's talking about? Well, De Mello calls it the unaware life. It's kind of like living on autopilot, and the craziest part is most of us don't even have a clue we're doing it.
And this is where he makes a really crucial distinction. De Mello argues that a mechanical life isn't a truly human life. It's driven by our programming, all the conditioning we've picked out from our family, our culture, our society. We just react based on that programming, not based on any real conscious choice. We become, as he puts it, kind of like chickens running around with their heads cut off, just full of mechanical thoughts and mechanical emotions.
The way out of this mechanical life is awareness. And the practice here is all about detached observation. It's not about judging or analyzing yourself. It's this idea of watching your own thoughts, your feelings, your reactions, almost like you're watching a movie about somebody else. You don't take it so personally. You don't jump in and try to fix everything. You just watch.
Okay, so let's see how this whole idea of being asleep starts to challenge some of our most fundamental beliefs. De Mello says our sleep is maintained by these powerful illusions, and maybe the biggest one of all is how we think about happiness. Now this is a game changer. De Mello is saying we don't need to go out and get happiness because it's already our factory setting. It's our natural state. Real happiness isn't caused by getting a new car or finding the perfect partner. It's what's already there when we stop doing all the things that make us miserable. So, if happiness is our natural state, why don't we feel it all the time? Well, according to De Mello, it's because we've been programmed since birth with a whole set of beliefs that block it. Society gives us a taste for what he calls the drug of approval, of success, of attention, and it convinces us that our happiness actually depends on getting these things from the outside world. And this programming is what creates what he calls attachments. Now, an attachment isn't the thing itself. Money and relationships can be great. The attachment is the belief that you cannot be happy without it. It's that deep down emotional dependency that is the real source of our anxiety and our suffering. Okay, on to the second major myth that keeps us in this sleep state, and that's the illusion of the ego. It's our deep, deep identification with all the temporary labels we stick on ourselves.
De Mello draws this really clear line between what he calls the me and the I. The me is all the stuff that's constantly changing. Your thoughts, your feelings, your body, your job title, your successes, your failures. But the I is the constant, unchanging observer behind all of that. All the suffering, all the anxiety, all the fear, that all happens to the me. The I is just watching it happen.
And this metaphor of the sky and the clouds just hits it perfectly. You are not the clouds. You're not your fleeting thoughts or your feelings or the events of your life. You are the sky. You're the vast, open awareness that all the clouds just pass through. And think about it, right? The sky is never harmed by the clouds, no matter how dark and stormy they get. So let's take a common anxious thought, a big dark cloud rolling in. What if I fail? Our programming, our conditioning, tells us to immediately grab onto that thought, to identify with it, to believe that it's us. We say, I am anxious. But the practice of awareness offers a totally different way. You don't fight the thought. You don't try to reason it away. You just step back and you observe it. You see the cloud for what it is, just a temporary event passing through your consciousness. You notice, oh, you're that. There's a thought about failure. You're the sky watching the cloud. You are not the cloud itself. So this brings us from all the theory to the actual practice. How do we do this? How do we cultivate this state of awareness? Well, the key, De Mello says, is the art of self-observation. The rules are incredibly simple, but they're so profound. You basically become a witness to your own life. When you get angry, you just watch the anger. When you feel joy, you watch the joy. You don't condemn it, you don't praise it, you don't try to change a thing. Your only job is to understand it, to see it clearly for exactly what it is.
And here's the payoff. This is where it gets really powerful. The moment you become aware of your mechanical reactions, your anger, your fear, your attachments, they start to lose their grip on you. You're no longer a puppet on a string. Now, they might still show up for a while, but you are free from their control. Awareness is freedom. So, what's really crucial to get here is that this whole journey of waking up, it isn't about adding anything new to who you are. It's not about learning new beliefs or becoming a better person. It's actually a process of subtraction.
De Mello would often quote the mystic Meister Eckhart to make this exact point. We don't achieve happiness or freedom. We uncover it by dropping everything that's in the way. We just drop our illusions, drop our attachments, drop our false ideas of who we are.
At the end of the day, waking up isn't really an action you take. It's what happens as a result of seeing. When you see through an illusion, it just falls away. You don't have to fight with it. You just see that it was never real to begin with. You drop the bars of your own prison cage, and you realize you were free the entire time. And that leaves us with a question that brings this whole thing right back home, to you, in this very moment. De Mello's work isn't just some philosophy to think about. It's an invitation to look within. Because if what he's saying is true, then the only thing standing between you and a state of deep peace and happiness is an illusion you're clinging to. The real question is, are you ready to let it go?